Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle a question that I think we've all thought about. Uh, what does it really take to become a millionaire?
Mm.
And we're not talking about, the billionaires you see on TV.
Right.
We're talking about the everyday folks who built their wealth through, planning, discipline, all those things.
Exactly.
So we're diving deep into Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps Millionaires to kind of uncover the secrets behind those folks' success.
Yeah, and I think one of the most fascinating things that the book does right off the bat is highlight the difference between millionaire and billionaire.
Right.
You know, it starts with this glimpse into the lifestyle of someone like Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Private jets, $165 million mansion in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy makes over $2 million in just 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's more than most people make in a lifetime.
It's crazy. And I think that contrast really sets the stage for understanding the baby steps millionaires.
Right.
You know, they're not about that kind of extravagant lifestyle. They're about building wealth, but they're also about living modestly and prioritizing financial security.
Yeah, one of the examples early in the book is Clinton Bryony.
Oh, yeah?
They hit millionaire status at 37.
Wow.
But they still live in, a modest 2,100 square foot home. They drive used cars.
Yeah.
They're really focused on security over luxury.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to.
Right. It's not about some arbitrary number. It's about building a life
Right.
that aligns with your values.
Yeah. And speaking of values, one thing that the book really emphasizes is the power of belief
Hmm.
and the importance of mindset.
Okay.
There's a story about a woman named Jackie,
Right.
a single African-American mother who rose from poverty to become a millionaire.
I love that story.
Oh, it's so inspiring.
She never wavered in her belief that she could achieve financial success.
Right. And the book connects this to a study that found that 97% of millionaires believe they control their own destiny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they have what's called an internal locus of control. They don't believe their financial outcomes are determined by luck or circumstance. They
Right.
take ownership, they make conscious choices.
It's like they see opportunities where other people see obstacles.
Absolutely.
Right.
And there's another fascinating example in the book about how immigrants are statistically more likely to become millionaires than native-born Americans.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like that drive for a better life.
Right, that belief that anything is possible.
And that willingness to work hard.
Right, and take risks.
So it's not just circumstance, it's about your mindset.
Exactly.
Believing in yourself and your ability to achieve those goals.
And that's where I think Dave Ramsey's baby steps come in.
Right.
It's not a magic formula, but it's a practical step-by-step plan
Yeah.
for anyone who wants to build wealth.
Before we get into those steps, I think it's important to talk about what the baby steps are not.
Oh, yeah.
The book contrasts the baby steps with get-rich-quick schemes.
Right, those shortcuts.
Yeah, and it uses Dave's own experience in real estate back in the 80s as a cautionary tale.
Oh, yeah, he lost everything chasing quick profits.
Right. It's a good reminder that those shortcuts rarely lead to lasting wealth.
Yeah.
And they also mention other traps like the lottery,
Right.
day trading, even high-income earners like that NFL player Andre Risson.
Oh, right.
Who made a ton of money but lost it all through bad financial decisions.
Yeah, it really highlights that true wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. You got to be disciplined. You got to be consistent.
Exactly like the tortoise in the fable.
It's funny. Dave mentions in the book that he has a friend who's a billionaire.
Oh, wow.
And he considers The Tortoise and the Hare the most important book he's ever read.
That was pretty profound.
It really emphasizes that patience and persistence are key.
Yeah.
And that's what the baby steps are all about.
Absolutely.
But before we dive into those steps,
Yeah.
there's another aspect the book covers that I think is important. Raising money-smart kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So teaching children about money from a young age.
Right, setting them up for success.
Right.
And the book introduces the 5 behaviors to grow money smart kids.
Okay.
Work, give, save, spend, and steward.
Okay.
So it's about instilling those positive habits from an early age.
So instead of just giving an allowance,
Right.
kids can earn commissions by doing chores around the house.
Exactly. Teach them the value of work.
And then learning to save up for goals, spend wisely, and give back to the community.
Yeah, it's about developing those good character traits.
It's responsibility, generosity,
Right.
thoughtful decision-making.
Yeah.
All those things are crucial for navigating the financial world, no matter how much wealth they accumulate.
Absolutely.
So now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about a topic that often sparks debate:
Okay.
the biblical perspective on wealth and generosity.
Right. It's important to address this because there are a lot of misconceptions out there.
Like that money is evil,
Right.
but the book clarifies that it's not money itself.
Right.
It's the love of money, as it says in 1 Timothy 6:10.
Exactly.
And it goes on to explain how that story of the rich young man
Yeah.
in Luke 18
Right.
isn't about condemning wealth, but urging us to prioritize our relationship with God over material possessions.
That's a good point.
And then to illustrate this point, the book shares a story about Steve, a baby steps millionaire,
Okay.
who anonymously paid for his friend Miguel's education.
Wow, that's amazing.
It shows how wealth can be a powerful tool for good,
Right.
for making a positive impact on the world.
Yeah. And speaking of inspiring stories,
Yes.
the book wraps up with a story about Raphael and Jobeth,
I love their story.
an immigrant couple
Yes.
who overcame poverty to become millionaires by their late 30s.
They started with an army salary of just $20,000 a year.
Wow.
Never went to college,
Mm.
and they didn't inherit a dime.
Their story is a real testament to the power of hard work.
Discipline and generosity.
It shows that the baby steps can work for anyone, no matter their background.
And their story really embodies what this book is all about.
Right.
And that's just the beginning, folks.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
Join us for part 2, where we'll dive into the key findings from the National Study of Millionaires.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fascinating to see what the data reveals about these everyday wealth builders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. In part 1, we got to hear about some really inspiring stories of baby steps millionaires and kind of unpack the foundation of Dave Ramsey's approach.
Right.
Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and dive into the data.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see what the National Study of Millionaires reveals about, these everyday wealth builders.
Yeah, this study is a gold mine of information.
Yeah.
I mean, it really challenges a lot of those stereotypes
Right.
that we have about millionaires.
No.
Like, for example, it turns out that 79% of millionaires are first-generation wealthy,
Oh, wow.
meaning they didn't inherit their fortunes. They
Right.
built it from the ground up.
That's really interesting. Makes you wonder, what are those contributing factors?
Right.
Is it their work ethic, a willingness to kind of take risks, or what is it?
Well, the study delves into that.
Okay.
It found that almost half of the millionaires came from homes where neither parent graduated from college.
Wow.
Only 25% of them had both parents with college degrees.
So you don't need to come from some, privileged background to
Right.
become wealthy?
Exactly. It's not about where you start.
Right.
It's about the choices you make along the way.
Okay.
Now, that being said, education does seem to play a role. 51% of the millionaires in the study had a master's degree or doctorate,
Wow.
compared to just 4% of the general population.
Okay. So it's not a guarantee,
Right.
but it suggests maybe a correlation there
Yeah,
between higher education and financial success.
possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's those discipline and critical thinking skills that are developed through higher education.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And when it comes to careers, the study found millionaires across a wide range of fields.
Oh, okay.
You have teachers, engineers, accountants, even law enforcement officers.
So there's really no one millionaire career path.
Right.
It's just about finding something you're good at,
Exactly.
working hard,
Yep.
and making smart financial decisions.
No matter what you do.
Now, one finding that I thought was really surprising
Okay.
is that only 19% of millionaires were self-employed business owners.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think that.
I always assumed that most millionaires were entrepreneurs.
Right. But actually, the majority of millionaires built their wealth through disciplined saving and investing
Okay.
while working for someone else.
So it's not about hitting it big with a startup.
Right.
It's about that steady, consistent
Or
building wealth over time,
And taking advantage of those employer-sponsored retirement plans.
like the 401k.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's talk about some of those habits.
Yeah.
The study uncovered some key differences in the way millionaires handle their money
Okay.
compared to the general population.
Like what?
Well, for starters, only 6% of millionaires carry credit card debt
Wow.
versus 40% of the general population.
That's a huge difference.
It is, and it really aligns with, Dave Ramsey's emphasis on getting out of debt
Right. And staying out of debt.
and staying out of debt.
Yeah.
And they're also way more likely to have paid off their car loans
Hmm.
compared to non-millionaires.
So it's about living within your means
Right.
and prioritizing financial freedom.
Over material possessions.
Exactly.
And that frugal mindset, it seems to kind of extend to other areas of their life as well.
Yeah, they're more likely to shop for bargains,
Okay.
avoid impulse purchases, and they even spend less on things like groceries and clothing.
That's surprising. You'd think millionaires would be all about luxury
Yeah, I know, but they're really more focused on value and long-term security.
than keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
So it's not about depriving themselves,
Right.
but making conscious choices that really align with their financial goals.
That's a good point.
Now let's talk about investing.
Okay.
The study found that 80% of millionaires cited their 401k
Mm.
as a primary factor in building wealth.
Interesting.
And they also prioritize investing outside of those company plans.
So they're not just relying on their employer,
Right. They're taking control of their retirement planning.
and they're not trying to time the market
Right.
or chase those get-rich-quick schemes.
They understand the power of compound interest.
Exactly. Slow and steady wins the race.
So they're taking control of their financial future and not leaving it up to chance.
Absolutely. And, that ties into another key finding. Millionaires tend to have a strong internal locus of control.
So they believe they have the power to shape their own outcomes.
Right. They don't blame external factors for their financial situation. They take ownership, and they believe that their actions directly impact their financial success.
And that probably contributes to their willingness to take risks,
Yeah.
to invest consistently, and to
Right.
make those tough choices.
Those choices that prioritize that long-term financial well-being.
And they also tend to have a growth mindset.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So they're open to learning,
Right.
embracing challenges.
Viewing those setbacks as opportunities for growth.
So constantly striving to improve
Yeah.
their financial literacy and
Oh.
adapting to changing economic landscapes.
Absolutely.
They don't let fear hold them back.
No, they're proactive.
Yeah.
They seek out knowledge and advice.
This study is really eye-opening.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It challenges so many of our assumptions.
Right.
It shows that becoming a millionaire is less about luck
Right.
and more about making deliberate choices
Yeah.
and adopting that right mindset.
It's about developing those key habits that we see over and over again.
Right.
Avoiding debt, living below your means, investing wisely, and taking control of your future.
And fostering that internal locus of control and that growth mindset.
Exactly. Believing in your ability to achieve your goals and always looking for what's to improve.
I think this study's been incredibly valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it really gives us a lot to think about.
Absolutely.
So now let's connect the dots between these findings and the baby steps themselves.
Okay.
Join us for part 3, where we'll explore how each step aligns with the habits and mindsets
Yes.
of these everyday millionaires.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've covered some really great stuff, those inspiring stories of baby steps millionaires,
Right.
that really interesting data from the National Study of Millionaires.
Yeah.
So now let's tie it all together.
Okay.
I'm excited to see how those baby steps really align with everything that we've learned.
Right. Bridging that gap between research and action.
Right.
We've seen the data. We've heard the stories now. How do we put those principles into practice?
Okay, so let's walk through each baby step
Okay.
and kind of see how they connect to that millionaire mindset we've been talking about.
Right.
So first up is baby step 1.
Yeah.
Save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund.
Right. And this step right away, it emphasizes that importance of saving.
Right.
Something that came up over and over again
Right.
in that study of millionaires.
A third of them never even earned a six-figure income,
Right.
but they still made saving a priority.
Absolutely. And I think it's really about establishing that habit early on,
Right.
regardless of your income level.
Every dollar counts, right?
Every dollar counts. Exactly.
It's that shift in your mindset
Right.
from spending to saving.
From spending to saving. Yeah.
So you're not relying on debt when, those unexpected expenses come up,
Exactly.
which leads perfectly into baby step 2. Pay off all debt using the debt snowball method.
Right.
And this really tackles one of the most striking differences we saw
Yeah.
between millionaires and the general population. Debt
Right.
millionaires, they prioritize becoming debt-free.
Yeah.
And this debt snowball It gives you a structured and motivating way to do that.
It does.
Now, for those who aren't familiar,
Yeah.
can you quickly explain how the debt snowball works?
Yeah, so instead of focusing on interest rates,
Oh, okay.
you list out all of your debts from smallest to largest,
Okay.
and you attack the smallest one first while making minimum payments on the others.
Okay.
And once that smallest debt is gone,
Okay.
you roll that payment amount over to the next smallest debt.
Okay.
And it kind of creates this snowball effect as you gain momentum.
It's a really good psychological strategy to keep you motivated.
Exactly.
Get to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Right. It makes you feel like you're making progress.
Right.
Which is really important.
And builds that discipline.
Right.
That's so crucial for the long term.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to baby step 3. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund.
Okay. So now we're building on that starter emergency fund.
Really reinforcing that importance of financial security.
Right. Those millionaires in the study, they really prioritized that stability and preparedness.
Yeah, they want to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, it's peace of mind knowing that you can weather those financial storms like job loss or, unexpected medical bills.
Absolutely.
It's all about having that control.
Right.
And proactively mitigating those risks.
Exactly.
Okay. So once you have that solid foundation in place,
Yeah.
now you can shift your focus to building wealth.
Okay.
And that's where baby step 4 comes in. Invest 15% of your household income into Roth IRAs and pre-tax retirement.
And this is where compounding really starts to work its magic.
Yeah, the study emphasized that.
Yeah.
Starting early.
Right.
Investing consistently.
That's how you build wealth over time.
Right.
Let that money grow.
Now, the book suggests a diversified investment strategy
Yeah.
using mutual funds that cover, different
A
categories.
little bit of everything.
Growth and income, international aggressive growth.
Right. Spread that risk.
Exactly.
Find investments that really align with your goals.
Now that 15%, it's a guideline.
Right.
Adjust that based on your individual circumstances.
Right. Find what works for you.
Exactly. Okay, so next we have baby step 5. Save for your children's college fund.
Okay.
So even though this step is about education,
Right.
it's really reinforcing that broader principle of planning.
Right.
Saving for those future goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking ahead, setting those targets,
Right.
and then consistently putting money aside.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing the book really stresses is that
Yeah.
college savings shouldn't come at the expense of your own retirement.
Right. Got to prioritize your own future.
Yeah, you got to find that balance
Yeah.
where you're supporting your kids,
Right.
but also making sure that you're taking care of your own financial well-being.
That's a good point.
Right. Okay, so baby step 6. Pay off your home early. This aligns with, the millionaire's commitment to avoiding debt,
Right.
achieving that true financial independence,
Yeah.
owning your home outright.
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment.
It is.
And then it frees up that income
Right.
that you can then redirect toward other goals.
Yeah. Like investing or giving.
It's just a tangible symbol
Yeah.
of freedom,
That's security.
security, stability,
Yeah.
knowing that you own your home free and clear,
No more mortgage payments.
no more mortgage
True.
payments. And finally, we arrive at baby step 7.
Okay.
Build wealth and give.
Yeah. This is a great one.
This is really the heart of the baby steps.
It is.
It's not just about accumulating wealth for yourself. It's
Right.
about using it
Right.
to make a positive impact on the world.
And we saw that over and over.
Yeah,
In those stories of baby steps millionaires.
right.
They were incredibly generous.
Like Steve,
Yeah.
who paid for his friend's education.
Yeah.
I mean, this step really encourages that spirit of giving,
Right.
recognizing that wealth can be
Yeah.
a powerful tool for good.
And it's about shifting from that scarcity mindset
Right.
to one of abundance.
Right. Realizing that we have more than enough
Yeah.
to share and to make a difference. It's
Yeah.
about living a life
Right.
of purpose and meaning.
Aligning your financial goals with your values and leaving a legacy.
I think it's amazing how these baby steps,
Yeah.
they're more than just a financial plan.
Right.
They're a guide to living a more intentional
Yeah.
and fulfilling life.
Absolutely.
And they embody all those principles we've been talking about.
Right.
That discipline, the generosity, the long-term thinking.
That belief in yourself.
Believing in your ability to shape your own financial destiny.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm just so struck by
Yeah.
how the baby steps are so much more than just, hitting some arbitrary number.
Right.
It's about taking control of your finances,
Yeah.
aligning your money with your values,
Right.
and really building a life. Yeah.
Of financial freedom and purpose.
And remember that question that the book poses. If you knew you couldn't fail, What would your financial goals look like?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
Right. Dream big.
Dream big
Believe in yourself.
and take action.
Exactly.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights
Yeah,
and you're feeling empowered to take control of your financial future.
absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.